If your child was diagnosed with level 1 autism later than you expected, I want to tell you something that might make their entire childhood suddenly make sense. So you probably did see the signs, you just didn't know that they were signs of autism because nobody was looking at the right things. Maybe your child made eye contact. Maybe they talked early. Maybe they were incredibly smart. Maybe they had friends. Maybe they played imaginatively. Maybe they did well academically. So everybody said, they can't be autistic. But maybe this was your child. Maybe they could hold it together all day at school and then absolutely lose it when they got home. Maybe they desperately wanted friends, but one tiny change in a friendship could destroy them. Maybe they could talk to adults for hours, but had no idea how to enter a group of kids. Maybe they needed to know exactly what was happening. Where are we going? Who's going to be there? How long are we staying? And what are we doing after? Maybe they wore the same clothes. Maybe they ate the same foods. Maybe they watched the same shows. And if something changed unexpectedly, maybe their reaction seemed way bigger than the situation itself. Maybe they were called sensitive, dramatic, controlling, anxious, bossy, rigid, a perfectionist. Or maybe you heard, they're just going to have to learn that the world doesn't revolve around them. But here's what I wish more people understood about level 1 autism. Sometimes the question isn't, can this child do it? It's, what does it cost this child to do it? And this is exactly why I created the Village of Little's nervous system lens, because I needed a way to look beyond what a child was doing and map the actual pattern underneath it. Load. What is this child's nervous system carrying? Access. What happens to their access to things like communication, flexibility, problem solving, executive functioning, and regulation as that load builds? Response. What does this child actually need from us in this state? Because a child can look completely available at 10 o'clock in the morning, become strained by 2 p.m., and be in a protective state by 4:30 p.m. Same child, same skills, different state, different access. That's the pattern. And that's why looking at behavior alone can completely miss what's happening. Through the Village of Little's nervous system lens, we're looking at pattern, interpretation, decision. Not just how do I stop this behavior, but what's happening here and what response actually matches. And sometimes that's how we finally understand the child that everybody kept telling you was totally fine. So if you're watching this thinking, oh my goodness, you just described my child, that's exactly what we do in my first step parent strategy session. We take your child's actual pattern and map them through the Village of Little's nervous system lens and my load access response map so that you can stop collecting random autism strategies that may not even work for your child and finally understand what's happening specifically with your child. Book your first step strategy session through the link in my bio. Head to my profile, tap my link tree, and my booking link is right at the top.